Art Briles is considered radioactive right now. Why is he radioactive? Sexual assault. Yo, this is Tribe with Yo Tribe Sports Bag. I'm back at you again today from the kitchen. You know it. I'm cooking up some more sports just for you. So just hang around and help a brother out. And while you're helping a brother out, hit that subscribe button. That's right. The subscribe button is what's going to get me to at least my first 1,000 subscribers. I understand it is an achievement. I understand it is a goal. I understand it is an endeavor. Help me endeavor that way. Let's battle Mr. Algorithm and win this battle nonetheless. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Also, hit the alarm button for all. That way you get every drop I have on the sports scene, not just football, but other sports, baseball, basketball, everything under the umbrella, or at least not most things under the umbrella. Let's get to the point. You saw the thumbnail. You know what this is about. It's about Art Briles, former Baylor head coach, coming to Grambling State University, an HBCU. For those of you who don't know what an HBCU is, it's a historically Black college and university. And Grambling State, one of the more renowned Black colleges in the entire country, is where Hue Jackson is now the head coach. Hue Jackson was also an NFL head coach twice, once with the Raiders, once with the Browns. He was an offensive coordinator in the NFL as well. He's now the head coach of the Grambling State Tigers. And before that, he was at Tennessee State. Tennessee State, another HBCU, this time led by legendary running back Eddie George, by the way, at Tennessee State. So Hue Jackson hires Art Briles, which on his resume, it's a no-brainer. Art Briles coached Baylor from 2008 to 2015. He had an impressive record of 65-37. It included going 11-2 twice. And to top it off, in terms of overall individual accolades, his quarterback, Robert Griffin III, won the Heisman for him, ultimately going on to the NFL. So Art Briles knows a thing or two about coaching on the offensive side of the ball, about offensive talent. By the way, he was also the head coach at the University of Houston when he was down with the Cougars. But now he was hired by Hue Jackson, who's at Grambling. Hue Jackson took over for Broderick Fobbs, who won a Black college national championship with Grambling, the only national championship they won under the Celebration Bowl, and the only national championship for a SWAC member team. So he hires Art Briles. He's bringing him in for the obvious reasons, but here's the caveat. Art Briles is considered radioactive right now. Why is he radioactive? Sexual assault, not him, but allowing his players and creating a toxic environment of sexual assault at Baylor. And after the school investigated it, they looked into it, and they saw him not fit to be their coach anymore. Thus, he was fired in 2015. So here along comes Hue Jackson. He hires him for the obvious reasons. He wants him to help him out with his football program offensively. He knows that he's an offensive mastermind, brings him on board. And I don't know if he even got approval before he did that. Because once Art Briles was brought in to Grambling State University, the walls started coming down. And in the past, you could go to an HBCU, you can kind of do what you wanted in an HBCU, and no one really looked at you because they were not looked at as a major conference. They were not looked at as, well, top-notch schools. They're not Notre Dame. They're not Nebraska. They're not Ohio State and all of the major schools you see every weekend. They're just an HBCU. At least that's what it used to be. Now you add to the ingredients prime time Deion Sanders, who's at Jackson State University, and HBCU, and the light he now brings into the overall program, not only at Jackson State, but the SWAC and black college football as a whole. And then you look at what he had done during the recruiting season with Travis Hunter, one of the consensus #1 players in all of high school football. He brings him over to Jackson State, snatching him out of the clutches of Florida State, a major 1A school. But now, in addition to all of what Deion brings with his light and his celebrity, he's now doing huge things that's going to keep the light on these HBCUs, not just Jackson State, but the entire landscape, the SWAC, which he's in, or even the MEAC, which is also part of HBCU. So now, with all eyes on you with NIL, name, image, and likeness, and money just flowing about in HBCUs and all over the country, but for this case here, Grambling State University hires Art Briles. Art Briles now the new offensive coordinator for just a couple of hours before he resigns when the rules came tumbling down. None other than Super Bowl winning quarterback and legendary quarterback from Grambling State and former coach of Grambling State, Doug Williams, felt uneasy about extending this opportunity to Art Briles based on the history that he now has with sexual assault and having a rogue program, because that's pretty much what it became under him, with those allegations, I guess, being proved. So you had one of your biggest alumnus out there who was not happy with the hire. And by the way, let's just as an aside, Doug Williams, as we know, won a Super Bowl with the Washington Redskins at that time, who are now the Commanders at this time. But he was a student under the legendary black college coach, Eddie Robinson, who managed to win an incredible 405 games at Grambling State University over 55 years. So when someone like that speaks on his dismay at his alma mater, things are going to happen. Hue Jackson probably didn't think about these things, but he figured he fought tooth and nail to try to keep Art Briles on. It was Art Briles who decided to leave. It wasn't even the school who said you had to leave. It was Art Briles who decided on his own volition to leave. And Hue Jackson, who has a foundation called the Hue Jackson Foundation, who says its mission is fight human trafficking through awareness, education, and prevention. Now, if that is the mission for your organization, bringing on someone like Art Briles with that in his history, that's not going to go well with anyone. It's unfortunate that he's in the situation, but if he allowed this to happen, well, everything that's coming to him is coming to him. So Art Briles, no longer the offensive coordinator at Grambling State University. Hue Jackson's going to have to find somebody else to take over the offense, which the SWAC is an offensive conference. They're known as a finesse conference, and the MEAC is the defensive conference. And let me not forget that they beat the SWAC every time except for one, and as I already mentioned, with Broderick Fobbs being at Grambling State and winning the Celebration Bowl in 2016. That's the only time the SWAC had beaten the MEAC. It's that finesse football, and Art Briles would have been perfect in that scenario. He'd have been perfect under those circumstances with the types of athletes HBCUs are getting now. All eyes are on them. All eyes were on the black college ranks. And that's why Art Briles is no longer the offensive coordinator after just a few short hours of the Grambling State Tigers. I'm Trav. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Yo Trav Sports Bag. Hopefully you got something good out of this and you would join me on other episodes with different sports, whether it's football, whether it's something else, whether it's boxing, baseball. We have a lot to talk about. And if you want to talk about this, make sure you go into the comments. I'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you or just comment on your comment. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button. Give a brother a few thumbs up, not one. Create some fake accounts. More thumbs up for me. If you can get away with it, that is. Anyway, Yo Trav Sports Bag is signing off, and I'll catch you another time.